I just wanted to talk about a few things about the flight controls on the. At the moment, the weather is up and down. I mean, 10 minutes ago there was only 11 satellites down here. There was only 11 satellites and 12 then. Now it's back up to 13.8. So today is very erratic. I think it's something to do with the geomagnetic or somewhat the clouds maybe. Anyway, so I wanted to just try recording my screen capture software because I think maybe, oh shit, is the light on? No. Right, so hopefully it's capturing the screen. I haven't tried it this way using the screen capture program. Let's see if I can flip it. So I wanted to talk about a little bit about the remote controller on this 4DRC-F3 drone control thing. I haven't got any batteries in it at the moment, but the buttons on here, it's got this takeoff and landing button which I marked with a piece of a label. That's the geomagnetic calibration thing, but I tend to use the app on the phone anyway. But the problem with using the takeoff and landing button, if you're in a built-up area, is it tends to climb to an altitude of 2 or 3 meters, which can be quite a problem if you've got clotheslines and trees around you and you're in a very cramped area. I don't like using that because if you're already flying and you're only about, what, 2 or 3 meters off the ground and you press that button to land, it automatically climbs to another altitude. It starts climbing again, and if you're in a bit of a constrained area, it can be a problem because you could accidentally, inadvertently, sort of climb up into a tree and get stuck. So I like to use a manual takeoff and landing, which is this button. Normally you normally and just take off with this one. It'll give me a nudge and bring it down with that one. So I prefer the manual takeoff. And the return is quite good because if you've lost sight of the drone for some reason, you can press the return button and it will come back to you. But oh shit! Hang on a minute. It's because I've got the screen capture thing on instead of recording directly. So if I'm the return button's good for certain things, but obviously if you've got line of sight and you're able to control it, and you can see it, you don't need that, so you can just manually land. And I only just figured out what that this auto button was heads free. So this auto button is heads free, head free mode, and that's kind of interesting. That's cool. But one thing worth knowing is if you're flying and you've got GPS lock, never turn your GPS off while you've got, because once you remove the GPS lock, and you're in, if it's quite windy, you could lose your drone. Because I saw this happen on another YouTube channel. This woman was flying it, and it's quite windy where she was flying. She shouldn't have really been flying with that wind, but she turned the GPS off and she lost her drone. It just blew away and she lost it over a lake or something, and it was gone forever. Sadly, that's, yeah, if you're using GPS, stick with GPS. If you're flying manually without GPS, then continue flying without GPS. But GPS is there to protect you and the drone and to keep it stable, so that when you make movements on your control sticks, the only movements that it makes are the movements you tell it to make. But without the GPS, it will continue to make movements based on the wind that's blowing. So yeah, you can lose it easily if you're not very proficient. So I just want to make some comments about that. I haven't put the batteries in at the moment, and as I say, the GPS signals are a bit erratic today, so I'm just using the screen capture thing, so it's gonna be cluttered with a lot of stuff. Let me just close that out. Right, I'll go back to UAV forecast thingy. Right, it's saying it's good to fly right now. Now the satellites are 13.1. cloud cover 82%. That's probably why it's erratic today. There's a lot of cloud. So we've got about 82% cloud cover. So I'm not feeling too good at the moment anyway, but I've set the GPS, the compass, the wind direction, so that whichever way I point my phone, it's always pointing in the right direction. So at the moment I can see, yeah. But anyway, the weather's a bit erratic at the moment. It's Saturday. It would be nice to do a little test flight out in the yard, but I want to see stable. See, what I normally do is I use this app and I'll load it up about every 20 minutes or 30 minutes and check to see what it's like. And well, at the moment it's all over the place. Cloud Club is 81% now. So yeah, it's up and down. It's visible sats is 14. KP is quite high, which is the geomagnetic storm index. It's fairly high at the moment. I like it to be a bit lower, really, but obviously with the cloud cover and everything. But the wind's pretty good because we've only got a 1 mile per hour wind, and we've only got gusts of 8 mile per hour. So that's brilliant. And I set it to 300 feet because the wind's higher at higher altitude. So it helps me to see what the wind would be like if I was at a higher altitude. So that's not bad, but it's just the other stuff that's going on at the moment. You know, there's a bit of erratic stuff going on. The weather's not perfect, but yeah, we'll see what it's like Sunday. I think I'll see what it's like Sunday because I would like to test my new flying. I want to test my new helipad, so I'll close that a minute. So my helipad came out great, and as I've shown it in the previous live stream. I glued it on now, so it's actually glued on. So I can pick it up with that now. So I glued that on and it's permanently attached now, so that's great. Anyway, I keep flipping the camera. It's probably going to mess up YouTube. It's going to be probably all up in the angles. Anyway, yeah, that's it for now. I'm just trying out this new thing. See you later.